Alright, so in the newest build of the game, I have a new runner, and she's called Mirage. So previously there was only Flashback, who's the character who can recall, but now we have a different one called Mirage, and she is basically a stance-shifting spy who's able to shift between an undercover mode and an overt mode, overt being the default runner experience. And the undercover mode provides some disadvantages and some advantages. You have to play a little differently, but playing a little risky with it will allow her to charge her ultimate, which is quite a powerful ability, but does feature some unique gameplay on the chaser side as well. So essentially, I have a lobby I can join here to showcase a bit of this. Alright, so to showcase Mirage a little bit, you'll notice that I can press my right mouse button from the input prompt on the bottom to switch to an undercover mode. Hear a little piano riff there, and you'll notice my footsteps are totally quiet. I get shouted in these little question marks to kind of communicate that I'm in that mode currently. So one thing you'll notice is the clues on the ground, which are the little arrows. Those clues last a lot longer than traditional ones. So see how that one, so let's say I run, create one here, and I switch to undercover and create one. Watch how much slower this one goes down. Like it's a significant while longer. So the idea with the undercover mode is you use it to kind of fake out or evade the chaser. So you can fake this way and then go back into here and then switch stances, gain a little bit of speed, that sort of deal. So when in undercover mode, there's some buffs and there's some nerfs. So first off, your footsteps are silent. That is an objective buff. But the clue duration is longer, as said. And no matter what angle you get, you are always forced to slow vault. No matter what angle, what speed you're moving at. It does not matter. You will always be forced to slow vault. And you'll notice that vaulting as well does take some of the meter in the middle. So what that meter in the middle is it's basically if I'm not moving as fast as I could be, or like moving to a specific speed, it will deplete. It'll basically deplete based on that sort of movement speed. When it's fully depleted, you get kicked out of the mode. The idea is entirely to keep moving. You don't want to be in this mode holding like a crazy check spot. And if you are doing something like that, let's say something like this, you're at least leaving a clue behind that you were there. Is the sort of idea. So the meter is either full or it depletes fairly rapidly if you're standing entirely still. Or if you want to kind of min-max and move a little slower, you can do something like this. But it takes some time to switch between stances as well, to make sure you're not just like kind of... It adds a little bit of a skill floor to this sort of thing. Something else you might notice as well is Mirage has an ultimate ability. So you'll notice when I activate undercover, beside the crosshair there's that little black rectangle. That is actually a bar. So that bar will fill if I'm close enough to the chaser. And you can tell this audibly if I am. So if I go ahead and let's say I bring the chaser just a little closer. So we'll hide behind here, but you can hear the music. This is what I call the proximity track. It's basically the equivalent of, say, a Terror Radius in Dead by Daylight or a tension track in VHS. Basically, the closer you are to the chaser, the more intense the music becomes. And there's different layers to proximity tracks as well. So if I go to the chaser real quick, and you might notice the game start to lag a little bit because I'm running 2 copies of the game on one PC. But you'll notice as the chaser gets a little closer, the music gets a little more intense. So if I'm actually... So let's place the chaser a little closer. So there's layers to this, right? This is layer 2. This is layer 1. Layer 4 is when you're being actively chased. And this is layer 3 right here. Right? So if I go back here, what I want to show you is when I'm in undercover mode, the bar isn't charging when I'm in layer 2. When I go to layer 3, it's going to actively start charging. So if I'm in layer 2, doesn't charge. Layer 3, it does. So you want to be close to the chaser, but not actually in a chase. So kind of sneaking around. So you'll notice once that bar fills, I can always see the bar. And a new ability is unlocked. So when I press E, I activate an ability called Vanishing Act. So to show you what this kind of looks like, it basically lets me go invisible. So when I press my E key, I'm going to get a little bit of a speed boost for a bit, and I'm going to go invisible. I'm going to leave these little question marks instead of normal clues. And the chaser can actually interact with these actively. And you'll see I become visible again after some time. But when the chaser interacts with these little question mark clues, it lowers my ultimate duration and also pings to the chaser where I'm currently located. So if they investigate and follow the clues as to where I may have gone, they'll be able to reduce the duration of my ultimate. And if they do so enough, I will receive a minor speed penalty for a small amount of time. Just it's kind of like a little, like, you know, you got caught out. So essentially the theming is it's meant to be very spy/detective based, where you kind of want to be hidden in plain sight. So you'll notice it's charging now, but if I get in front of the chaser and I get into a chase, it doesn't charge. But as soon as I'm out of line of sight, it starts charging again. And then I get access to it. In-game, this does require a little bit of effort. So a lot of the strategy between playtesters has been going to high-walled tiles and utilizing the mode there. Fillers like these won't really serve too much of a purpose to charge it, unless you're at, say, something like this one over here, for example. So this filler over here is very high-walled, so you can break line of sight a lot. So something like this, you can definitely charge the ability at. You could pop it here just a little bit. When you're starting to get close to the window or the chaser gets close, you let go, do this again. That sort of thing. Like, there's some strategy you can do there. But yeah, once you get access to the ability, you get a little speed boost, and then you go invisible and leave clues. The bar slowly lowers to show how much duration you have, and the radial bar shows the progress until you place your next clue. You still actively lose stamina when outside of tiles, so you still want to maintain some level of cohesiveness with your pathing. But overall, it's meant to be a lot of kind of evasion, taking unique pathing to get a proper result, or kind of like it's a little bit of a risk reward power with a decent skill floor. Essentially, that in essence is Mirage. The chaser can hit you while you're invisible, and it will kick you out of the power. And overall, I think there's a lot of kind of unique situations you can end up in with this kit. And as this game and this project slowly develops further, I'm excited to see kind of where the sort of theming will go for this particular character. Because I think it is one of the more unique concepts I have in the game as of late. Yeah, so essentially that is Mirage as a whole. In terms of the power, you can view the full power description here. It shows you absolutely everything that happens, including stats on the Vanishing Act, the ultimate ability, and how like the penalty for investigation works and that sort of thing. For the most part, that's exactly what Mirage is. I'm very happy with how playtesters have been using this kit and so far how it's been working. I figured I'd like to make a video on kind of how she works and that sort of thing. Kind of as like a mini devlog. All right, perfect. Well, thank you for watching, and stay tuned.